Have you ever been watching a movie or, you're deep into a TV show binge and there are two characters? They're just standing across the room. They haven't even touched. Maybe you're not even talking, but you find yourself like actually shouting at the screen, just kiss already.
Oh, absolutely. I think we've all been there. It's that visceral thing where the tension is so high, you physically need them to get together.
Yes, exactly. We call it the spark or, chemistry. In internet speak, we ship them. But here's the thing that's been bugging me. Is that magic? Is it just dumb luck that two people click?
Or is there a science to it?
Right.
Right.
Is there a mechanics to it?
Yeah.
Can you manufacture that lightning in a bottle?
It's the million-dollar question. And looking at the stack of research we have for this deep dive, the answer seems to be a resounding yes. It's not magic. It's mechanics.
I love that. So today we are going to deconstruct the chemistry of connection. And we have a really eclectic mix of sources to do it. We're starting with structural advice for romance novelists.
Right.
Literally how to hack a reader's brain to make them fall in love with a character.
Yeah, drawing heavily from the writing coach Abby Emmons, who has this brilliant breakdown of the psychology of fiction.
Then we're pivoting to history. We're going to look at the private love letters of some of the most powerful men who ever lived. Henry VIII, Napoleon, Beethoven. We're going to see how they tried to build chemistry on paper.
Which, I have to warn you, gets surprisingly explicit and occasionally legally dangerous.
I saw that. And finally, we're going to get very real with some street interviews from New York City where, strangers share their raw, unedited confessions of love and loss.
It's a fascinating mix. The goal here is to figure out what makes romance work, both in the stories we consume and, the relationships we live, and then practically how you can translate that feeling into the lost art of the love letter.
So let's start with the fiction, because I feel like novelists have to understand human psychology better than psychologists do sometimes. They have to engineer feelings from scratch.
They certainly have to manipulate it better. If a novelist fails, you put the book down.
True. So in our sources, Abby Emmons breaks down exactly what makes a couple shippable. And she talks about this concept that I think everyone knows, even if they don't know the name for it, the one-bed trope.
A classic. But she uses the broader psychological term, forced proximity. And while, oh no, there's only one bed at the end, is the cliche, the principle underneath it is really, really sound.
It's about removing the option to escape.
Exactly.
So it's not just sleeping arrangements. It's being stuck in an elevator.
Balls in the woods, yeah. Or partnered up for a science project.
Exactly.
It's about being trapped, physically or situationally, where you are forced to problem solve together.
Yeah.
You have to rely on one another. And Emmons points out that this forces characters who might not even trust each other to suddenly bridge that gap. Vulnerability, it becomes a survival mechanism.
That makes so much sense. If I have to rely on you to get out of a sticky situation, I see a different side of you. I see your competence. I see how you handle pressure.
Precisely. And that leads directly into another major building block she mentions, shared secrets.
This is the whole us against the world vibe.
It is. Emmons describes it as creating a little reality of your own. If I know something about you that nobody else knows and you know something about me, well, we have an instant exclusive intimacy.
It's like inside jokes, right?
That's the real world version. Inside jokes are just funny shared secrets. It signals to everyone else, we are a unit, we have data you don't have. It builds a wall around the couple that just strengthens the bond.
Okay, let's talk about the physical side, because obviously chemistry is physical, but the advice here isn't just write a steamy scene.
No, and this is where it gets fascinating. Ems talks about the love hormone, oxytocin, and she argues you don't generate that for the reader just by having characters make out. You generate it through, like, accidental touches or caretaking.
Oh, like tending to a wound. That's a huge trope.
Yes, or the Jane Austen example, helping someone into a carriage. It's this high-stakes, small-scale physical contact. It releases oxytocin in the brain of the reader, not just the characters.
Wait, really?
Yeah, you're watching someone be gentle with someone else, and your brain actually mirrors that connection.
That is wild. So we're basically chemically hacking the reader's brain.
Essentially, yes. And there's one more layer to this that I found really compelling. Hyperperception.
Oh, I highlighted this one. This is the trope where the partner notices a shift in mood that no one else sees.
Right. The "are you okay?" when everyone else thinks you're totally fine.
That's the good stuff. That's when you know it's real.
It creates safety. It says, I see you more clearly than the rest of the world does. And that is the core of romantic intimacy. It's validation.
Okay, here's the flip side. If that's how you build it, how do you break it? Because the sources also cover chemistry killers, the 7 deadly mistakes.
Yes. And these apply to real relationships just as much as novels. One of the biggest ones is the separate agendas problem.
Meaning we just drift apart.
Meaning if the couple stops spending time alone together, the tension just evaporates. If you're off doing your job and I'm off doing mine, and we never cross paths to solve a problem together, going back to forced proximity.
We're just roommates.
We're just roommates.
That hits a little close to home for a lot of long-term couples, I bet. You stop solving problems together and you start just managing logistics. Did you buy milk?
Did you pay the electric bill?
Exactly.
Exactly. The spark dies in logistics. Another big killer, surprisingly, is teasing about others.
Oh, like joking that your partner has a crush on the barista.
Yes. In fiction and in life, people think this is flirting. But Emmons argues it's actually a mood killer. It signals friend zone.
Oh!
It lowers the stakes because it implies I'm cool with you being with someone else.
That's a great point. If you want high stakes, you have to show a little possessiveness, not indifference.
Within reason, but yes. And the final big mistake is the perfect couple.
The couple that never fights.
It's so boring. Emmons calls it saltine cracker bland. If you never challenge each other's faults, there's no growth. Conflict is actually the fuel for the chemistry.
You need friction to create heat.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got the theory. Forced proximity, shared secrets, enough conflict to keep it spicy. Now let's see how this played out in the real world, and not just anywhere, the royal court.
This was my favorite part of the deep dive. The letters of Henry VIII to Anne Boleyn.
We usually think of Henry VIII as this big, scary, wife-beheading tyrant, but these letters, honestly, he sounds like a love-struck teenager.
He really does. You have to remember, this is before the marriage, before the beheadings.
Yeah.
He is desperate for her attention. There's this one letter where he's talking about how lonely he is, and he literally refers to her breasts as pretty duckies.
Stop it. Pretty duckies. The King of England.
The King of England. Using Tudor slang for breasts, it humanizes him in a very weird way, and he doodles.
He doodles.
He draws a heart with AB for Anne Boleyn inside. It's like something you'd find on a high school notebook.
That is incredible. And wait, didn't he also send her a dead animal?
Yes, the hunter metaphor. He killed a buck late at night and sent it to her, saying he hopes when she eats of it, she thinks of the hunter.
Wow. Very me man, you woman, I bring meat.
Exactly. But we have to connect this to the bigger picture. These were not just sweet notes. These letters ended up in the Vatican.
As evidence.
As evidence. When he was trying to annul his marriage to Catherine of Aragon, these letters were stolen and used to show his intent. So this high-stakes romance, this chemistry, was actually changing the political map of Europe.
Talk about high stakes. And then you have Napoleon.
Oh, Napoleon and Josephine. Now, that is a volatile chemistry. Unlike Henry's wooing, Napoleon's letters are filled with this intense, almost frantic jealousy. He writes to her saying, "You've been naked."
Wow. Okay. That is direct.
Very possessive. He suspects her of everything. He writes, "I don't love you, not at all. On the contrary, I detest you." And then, in the next breath, he's worshiping her.
That sounds exhausting.
It was. But the contradiction there is so fascinating. He eventually divorced her because she couldn't give him an heir.
Right. The ultimate separate agenda.
But even after the divorce, he insisted she keep the title of Empress, and she was the last name he whispered on his deathbed.
That is the ultimate slow burn that ends in tragedy.
Speaking of tragedy and mystery, we have to talk about Beethoven.
Ah.
Because his approach to the love letter was entirely different.
The immortal beloved.
Yes. After Beethoven died, they found a 10-page letter in a hidden drawer in his desk. It was addressed only to his immortal beloved. To this day, historians fight over who it was actually for.
Wait, so he never sent it?
We don't think so. Or maybe it was returned. But it's pure agony on the page. He writes, "Ever thine, ever mine, ever ours."
That's so famous. I had no idea it came from a mystery letter.
It just shows that sometimes the most potent chemistry is the kind that can't be fully realized. It's the unsent letter. Writing to process the feeling, not to communicate it.
Which brings us to Oscar Wilde. Because if Beethoven's letter was a mystery, Wilde's letters were a weapon used against him.
A huge risk. We're talking about Victorian England, where homosexuality was a crime. Wilde wrote letters to Lord Alfred Douglas calling him "my own boy."
And these weren't just love letters. They became evidence in court.
They did. They were read aloud in the courtroom to prosecute him for gross indecency. It's a sobering reminder that for a long time, writing down your shared secret, it could literally destroy your life.
The chemistry was criminalized.
Yeah.
It makes you appreciate how safe we are now to just text whatever we want.
Well, safe from the law, maybe.
Yeah.
But contrast all that drama, Henry, Napoleon Wilde, with someone like Johnny Cash.
Oh, the Man in Black.
His letter to June Carter is often voted the greatest love letter of all time. But it's not frantic like Napoleon or secretive like Beethoven. It's quiet.
What does he say?
He writes about getting old. He says, we get old and get used to each other. We think alike. We read each other's minds.
See, that's that hyper-perception we talked about earlier.
Exactly. You spotted it. It's that deep intimacy where you don't need the words. He acknowledges that the fire changes. It's not the burning buck of Henry VIII anymore. But he still finds her the greatest fascination. It's beautiful because it's so grounded in reality.
It makes me want to write a letter right now. But I feel like we've lost this art form. We send texts, we send DMs, emojis.
We do. And our sources, particularly the video from Chris Jordan, argue that we need to bring back the handwritten artifact.
Why? Is it just nostalgia?
It's effort. Chris Jordan makes this funny but true point. When you write a long letter by hand, your hand cramps.
That's true. I haven't written a full page in years. My hand would probably fall off.
Right. And if someone is willing to let their hand cramp for you, that is a physical demonstration of care. A text takes zero effort. A letter takes time, paper, muscle. It's proof of work for your feelings.
But there are risks. My handwriting is terrible, and spelling.
Oh, God, the spelling horror stories in the source material.
They're painful.
There's the story of the guy who got a letter where the girl meant to write, I love the smell of your cologne, but she spelled it C-O-L-O-N.
No, I love the smell of your colon. That is a relationship ender right there.
Or the other one, I love the way you hold my waist. But she spelled it W-A-S-T-E, like garbage.
Okay, so rule number 1 of love letters, spell check. Maybe write a draft on your phone first.
Please, use a dictionary. But beyond spelling, there's a structure to doing this right. You can't just vomit feelings onto a page.
So what's the blueprint?
Well, it depends on the stage of the relationship. The blog source we have breaks it down really well. If it's early dating, keep it light.
Right, don't go full Napoleon on date 3.
Exactly. Focus on curiosity.
Yeah.
Use phrases like, I enjoy getting to know you. Do not declare undying love. That triggers the instant love mistake we talked about in fiction. It feels unearned.
But if you are in an established relationship,
that's when you pivot to shared history. Call back to those inside jokes. Remind them of the forced proximity moments you survived together.
So remember that time we got stuck in the airport for 12 hours?
Yes. That triggers the memory of the bond. And avoid the copy-paste trap. Don't Google love letter templates and just sign your name. It's so obvious and it feels hollow.
It needs that personal voice. But what if you just really, really hate writing? Are there modern alternatives?
There are. We don't have to be Luddites about this. The sources suggest things like video letters, recording a genuine message, not a TikTok dance, but a sincere message where they can see your face.
That captures that hyper-perception bit. They can see your micro-expressions.
Exactly. Or a curated playlist with notes explaining why you picked each song.
Oh, like a modern mixtape.
Exactly. It's about curation. It shows you spend time thinking about them. I heard this song and thought of that drive we took. It serves the same function as the letter. It proves you were paying attention.
Now, I want to move to the most emotional part of our stack, the street interviews. Because we've talked about kings and rock stars, but seeing regular people, it just hits different.
This is from Tharia's channel, right? These interviews are incredibly raw.
Yeah. She asks strangers in New York if they have a love letter they want to share. And there was one story, the widower.
Oh, that one was, that was heavy.
He lost his wife in 2021. And he talks about how she saved his life, how she taught him to love because he didn't know how before. He was crying right there on the sidewalk.
And the letter he ends up writing isn't to her because she's gone. He writes it to his grandkids.
That destroyed me. He promises them he'll take care of them.
It shows that a love letter doesn't always have to be romantic in the traditional sense. It's a document of devotion, a promise. It's a way of saying, because she loved me, I will love you.
And then on the flip side, you have the unsent letters, the letters written just to heal.
Yes. There was that beautiful poetic letter about the friendship boundary. The writer talks about hearing a piano sing when they see this person's eyes, but deciding to stay silent to keep the friendship bound.
Until the world turns on its head, I won't say a thing to just stay your friend. I mean, that is painful.
It connects back to that idea of secrets we started with. In this case, the secret isn't shared. It's kept by one person to protect the little reality they have. It's a tragic kind of chemistry, but it's still chemistry.
But we did have a happy ending in the mix. Amy and the Met date.
Yes. We needed a win. This is a great example of using specific details. The guy writes about a specific memory, the singing waitress at a hole-in-the-wall restaurant after visiting the Met Museum.
And he says, why hold back?
That's the key. Vulnerability. He put it all out there. He didn't play games. And because the chemistry was built on that shared experience, that magical movie-like date, it worked. It wasn't generic. It was remember our day.
So if we step back and look at all of this, from Henry VIII doodling hearts to a guy on the street in New York missing his wife, what is the common thread here?
I think the thread is that chemistry isn't just luck. It's attention.
Attention.
Yeah. It's noticing the pretty duckies or the mood shift. It's remembering the singing waitress. It's paying enough attention to someone that you build a shared world with them. And then the letter.
Yeah.
The letter is just the proof that you were paying attention.
I love that. It's cementing the emotion in reality.
Exactly. In an age of digital permanence where every text is saved but rarely cherished, a letter is a physical object that says, I was here and I felt this for you. It turns a feeling into history.
That's a powerful takeaway. So here's my challenge to you listening right now. We talked about Henry VIII's letters being read 500 years later.
Which I'm sure you did not intend, but here we are.
Right. So if you had to write a letter today that would be read by historians in 500 years, that would define who you loved and how you loved, what would it say? And more importantly, who would it be for?
That is a provocative question.
Think about it. And maybe, just maybe, go find a pen and some paper. Thanks for diving in with us.
See you next time.